The chaos reigns.
Tell me, what questions do you have about the principle behind the legal argument and the legal argument? What questions do you have? Talk to me. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
So I'm more so like when we talk about reparations and
Mm-hmm.
we talk about how we were considered after the Constitution was published or I forget established after the Constitution was established. We were acknowledged by the Constitution um well after it was established as like full people. So I'm wondering what type of clause would give us the ability to seek compensation for that.
All right. So here's the thing, brother. I don't want you to. There's a lot of different reasons why a lot of different people were taken into slavery until it was outlawed here in the United States, until after the Civil War in 1865. We're focusing on the Clotilda incident, and we're talking about all the illegal activities surrounding slavery from the time period of 1808, okay, when it was declared illegal, moving forward. Okay, so I want you to stay focused on that time period. A criminal act took place.
Right,
Slavery,
because we were
the transatlantic slave trade was illegal, or transportation of slaves from Africa to the New World was made illegal by international treaty and the United States and under American law from 1808 moving beyond. Yet we have an incident that is well documented, which took place in 1860, where approximately 110 Africans were taken at the behest from not Africans, 110 Dahomian, Nigerian, and African citizens in those kingdoms was taken, and it is documented. Are those people owed restitution?
of course.
Okay, so we're not even talking about a civil case at this point. We're talking about criminal restitution. Now, why is it that we can't sue the captain and Mr. Meharry? Why is it that we can't put them in jail? Why is that? Why is that? Now catch up now. Why is that?
They were complicit. Like they were
double jeopardy. Double jeopardy. Remember I talked to y'all earlier and I said they had been tried back in 1861 or 1862 when it was, remember that? You can't try a person twice for the same crime.
Right.
Okay, so stop. So who hasn't been tried for this crime?
The people who sold us over here in the first place.
Who is the people in this particular incident?
Africa.
No, don't give me Africa. Africa is a continent. Who were the people who were complicit in this specific crime?
Wasn't it the king of
what is his name?
What
year did it take place? July 1860. Who was the king of where did these people come from? The Clotilda.
You said the Clotilda.
Hold on. See, this is why, and I'm not down on you, but I love you. I love you, my little brother. But this is like the Socratic method. This is why law school, this is what happens in law school. You got to listen. You see what I mean? Because I gave all these facts in here, but the reason there's so much misinformation about what reparations is and what I'm trying to do is because people aren't listening. I gave you the time, the date, the location, and all the perpetrators. Okay? And so you see what I'm saying? And these people are responsible for this crime. And they are the descendants of these people who would not otherwise be here but for these criminal acts. The 2 white men had been tried. There was no evidence, but now there's new evidence. You see what I mean? Now, under a criminal matter, it'd be easy to prove, but it would be the state to do that. But now that we have enough evidence to prove what would have normally been a criminal matter, I'm sure with a few changes in the law, we can hold these people civilly responsible for their criminal acts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
With quasi-criminal, whatever, because it was criminal, it was illegal. Let me get my man, what questions do you have? And I'm gonna go to Chaos Reign real quick. Go ahead. You having another question, Glow?
No. I was waiting for more input.
Yeah, man. Just you got to listen to this broadcast. It's complicated, but it's not that complicated. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was here. I want you to know I was here and I was paying attention. I guess
it's a lot. It's fact intensive. Yes. Chaos Reign. So you had a broadcast about a week or two ago, and a lot of folks came on. I think you even had a lawyer come on there and tell you that, oh man, that never happened.
Yeah, the one Mr. Amir, when I asked the question about the plan, and he did see your video to the point he played it on his own channel, you know, to try to break down why that's not possible. And if
is he a lawyer? Where did he get his law degree from?
You know, I never asked him because I was sitting back and I never got my question asked.
So he's not a lawyer and he's trying to break down a legal argument?
I don't know what he was breaking out.
Okay, well, tell us what happened.
But for Dinah's rhetoric, he said that there's no way that Africa could pay Black people in America reparations because it did not exist. All these other European nations did not establish Africa after cut up since the late 1800s. So in his logic, he thinks and believes that Africa don't owe Black people in America nothing. Because
Africa is a continent, okay, and not all African nations participated in the slave trade.
Correct.
We're talking about the specific African nations that exist now, and we're talking about the nations, the kingdoms that came before them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, correct.
So by his logic, I want him to hear me. By his logic, England is not responsible. The country of England, which is not responsible for all the atrocities that they committed on the brown people of the world, because the aristocracy of England is no longer in power. So that the Queen of England, the jewels that she took from all these different places, they don't have to give it back. The nation, the republic, that democratic republic that we call the UK, they don't have to give any of it back because you know what? The king and the queen have been done away with. They're no longer in power. Is that what they're arguing?
Well, you know, since you lay that out, I'd like him to answer that since you present that, because their focus mostly, and you know, another consecrate, which I'm not gonna name, you know who I'm talking about. That
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I'm saying is, a lot of these so-called pro-blacks, these people, they are so blinded that they can't see that what they're saying is opening is what they think they're closing the door to is closing the door to some of their other arguments. Everybody is always talking about America has to pay for slavery. When did slavery start in America?
Was it in the 1600s?
1619. Yeah.
1619 is when America started. 1619, right?
Yep, correct. Yep.
When did what we call the United States come into existence?
1776. A century.
Okay, so hold on. So from 1619 to 1776, what we know as America wasn't America. So who's responsible for the Africans and the slaves who are here in the United States from 1619 to 1776?
Those who established the colonies.
But it's not America though, right? It's not the USA, right?
But the people who landed here to establish the colonies.
Because the African nations don't exist anymore. So if the African nations don't exist anymore, you can't tell me that they're the people who the nations that currently exist are responsible for what those African nations did. That's according to the pro-black logic over here. So let's go back to it again. Where my pro-black? Where y'all at? Come on back in. Y'all always saying America needs to pay the debt. Well, slavery started in America in 1619. Slavery ended. America didn't come into what it is until 1776. Now, when did America outlaw the transatlantic slave trade?
1808 to 1808.
1808.
Right?
So give me from 1776 to 1808 is when America is responsible for the enslavement of Africans coming from Africa then, right? How many years is that? How many years?
32.
132.
No,
Yeah.
1776 to 1808.
Yeah, that's 32.
So basically, under this this logic of these people on your page, America's only responsible for 32 years of slavery. You hear me, Chaos Rain?
Yes.
Because see, America didn't exist before 1776. It was a colony of Great Britain. And Great Britain didn't exist because the Great Britain that we have now is a republic, not an aristocracy. It is a republic, not a kingdom. And so therefore, we can't even collect from 1776 to 1619 because what the power authority that ruled America don't exist no more according to them. Did you ask them that question?
No, I never asked that question because I was still waiting for the answer.
No, brother, no, you need to ask them that question. Say, okay, what part of responsibility does America have for their part of the slave trade? Okay. If it just came about in 1776 and it outlawed slavery in 1808, how do we hold them responsible for all that, the damn near 150 years before it was even a country? That's Great Britain's problem. But the king ain't the king no more.
Yeah.
Okay, Dale. So what are your thoughts on that, man? See, this is
But doesn't that allude to my point that that alludes to my point that the people who established those colonies need to be held accountable?
Okay, well, let's hold Great Britain. Let's hold the King of England responsible, and the King of England say we don't exist no more. You can't hold it. It's parliamentary system now.
Right.
This is the argument that these people have. Now, there's a simple. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, you need to stop taking advice from people who are counting on the fact that you don't read. These people, I'm telling you, man, these black powerites, they're truly supremacists. They think you're stupid. If you would just look at basic American history, you would see America only came into existence in 1776. All right, which means that if this republic didn't exist before that, they're not responsible for anything that this form of government wasn't in charge of. So that means from 1776 to 1808, that's the only time it was legal. So America is only responsible for 32 years of slavery. Out of the 400 some odd years we've been here, they're only responsible for 32 years. That's the logic they want you to follow. Superimpose that logic on Africa and see if you can find a way to get around it. I have. Go ahead, Dale. What are your thoughts?
I'm just waiting for Dr. Umar Johnson to call in. See, that's not the point, brother. That's not the point, brother. That's not the point, brother. As we look through the African diaspora, my brother and my sisters, these lying to you. Let me tell you what's going on. We as a people, because as Marcus Messiah Garvey, my cousin said, that's all I hear is that they keep throwing this rhetoric out. It's just like it's kind of like, I hate to say this sounds bad, but fuck it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's like talking to a woman saying, well, last night you said you went to the club with your girlfriends, but my homeboy that runs the hotel over downtown at the Four Seasons said you came in there and you had lunch with some guy and you went upstairs to the 15th floor. Well, why are you checking up on me? So it's diversion. Here's the fact of the matter. You put the facts laid out, and what happens in our community, because people aren't educated, and we have these egos that have made millions of dollars on our ignorance in our community and sold us a bill of goods and go kissing the Democratic parties behind or trying to kiss the Republican parties behind instead of just saying, what's the fact? The fact is we are the only major group in the world in the last half millennia that has been done as we've been done. And every time we talk about getting paid back, nobody wants to have that discussion.
Yeah, they're not going to pay you back if they got to make the deal. But I'm telling you, there's enough politicians who will sign a piece of paper and say, yeah, y'all go sue Africa if you want your money. We don't have a problem with that. There's nothing but an upside for Black Americans.
Yep.
There's nothing but an upside for America for them to give us carte blanche to go sue Africa. That means more money to the American economy.
Yep.
We get to tie Africa up and take their resources and take their wealth. We're not asking for reparations. At this point, when y'all send y'all oil over here to South Texas to get refined,
we're gonna need a piece of that.
And when you send the money to make the payment for the oil to get refined, and when the oil is finished being refined, we seize all of that up out of Chase Bank and Bank of America and all that. When you take your money and you put it in these banks over in England and these other European banks, we take that federal court Article 3 judgment from a federal court and we take it over there and we have it honored and registered in the courts of England. And we say now we need our $100 billion for the Smith Jenkins family. You see what I'm saying? It's not hard. It can be done. I know Joshua's in here for a minute, but I want to get Chaos Rain in here because he literally hosted a show and I had all these detractors over there, but they're not coming here. I'm gonna ask some simple questions. I wanna hear your response to it. Chaos Rain, what other questions did they say, man? What other questions did they have?
It was like over a week and a half ago, maybe.
What other questions did they have?
No, that was
what was their opposition? Go ahead.
Their opposition is that what you saying or what you presented is crazy. Africa don't got the money. They're not gonna give Black people American money. That's their conclusion. Even to the ones that are few of them are Black, some are pro-Black. They were on that panel saying that what you present was crazy. And they're right.
I know, but what's crazy about it? I mean, what is crazy? But you know what's crazy? Trying to get $1 trillion out of the American government. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You claiming reparations and you're not gonna get. I mean, you're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you now. It's gonna be a bunch of no judges and no people on the jury. You're gonna get nothing because you're trying to convince the American government to allow you to pilfer their coffers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'm going to let Dale Jenkins come in here and take my money? He going to convince me to give him $100 that my great granddaddy said that he was going to pay him because he took his goat or his cow? Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm going to find every reason to get the case dismissed and I'm going to foreclose on it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You understand?
I agree. I definitely agree. And I did send the link.
But who are these people? Where did they get their law degrees from? I know it was one dude who was
one was a lawyer. I'm not sure if
what was his argument? Let's hear what the lawyer said. What is his argument?
I can't recall. I gotta play it.
Let me tell you what his argument was. His argument was this is a tort. Dennis knows that there are some superseding factors. I heard him. I heard a little bit of it.
Okay.
And it just sounds like he's not a very good lawyer. If you can't figure out basic first year law school causes of actions.
Okay.
It's not a tort.
Mm-hmm.
We're not suing somebody for battery. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
You guys gotta watch. Let me tell you again. You gotta watch. There's a lot of shysters and hooligans and fools in Black America. And just because they got a computer and a light and a camera and they get on the internet, they're not qualified to have this conversation. They're not, let me say that again. Everybody talking about reparations is not qualified to have that conversation. Now, see, I can explain things to people, but it's not my job to make them understand. You see? Now, let me tell y'all what I'm doing again. Shout out to my man, Wrench Turner. He'll understand this because it's the Texas way. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. There's nothing you can do about it to stop me from doing what I'm going to do. At this point, I'm using my own money to finance the legal writings and have them published in different places where lawyers look up stuff. You see? Oh, that's a great goddamn idea. You see? And there's nothing you can do about it. See, I don't need a GoFundMe. I'm not trying to build a goddamn school. When I wanted to put on my own TV show, I spent $250,000 of my own money to do it. You understand who you're dealing with? I'm not like y'all. See, I'm not about all that talk. I'm about getting it done. I don't need your help like that. We're going to do it my way. Again, this ain't the village group think. That didn't work. Did groupthink and village think work for Africans? Has it stopped them from getting invaded by people who are all about I? I'm
Nope.
not about the team spirit. I'm about the ME in team. Me. You understand that? I don't need your help. Didn't ask for your help. Don't want your opinions. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm sponsoring legal writings. I'm sponsoring people to draft and publish articles about reparations and why Africans must pay foundational Black Americans for their part in the slave trade, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen. Now, we got a lot of cowards in this generation and a lot of people who still romanticize Africa, and you might not do it, but it's going to be out there for the next generation. You see? And there's nothing you can do about it. That's what I'm trying to explain to these people. So anyway, go. Who else? Josh, go ahead, man. I know you've been patient. What are your thoughts on this, man? Go ahead. You got to unmute, brother. Unmute. Let me see what. Unmute yourself. Uh-oh. Yeah, come on in. Come back in. Dale, Glow, Chaos, floor is open. Talk to me.
I'd like to.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, okay, I got you, Josh. Go ahead. What would you like to add?
When you're an outcast, even your own don't want you, the realest obligation you have to yourself is to go out and make something new, become better than the pieces that made you. No matter where you go, be the difference that everyone assumes that you're not. I'm saying this not just to everyone here, but I'm saying it to those who are watching. It hurts when you're not wanted.
Yeah, so you Africans.
better?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But what's better is when you become something more, because there are a lot of people who are going to be watching us. So be everything you can be under the Most High's guidelines. Because
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that's a good little statement there. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get somebody. You want to kind of stay on point with this thing. Dale, what else would you like to add to the specific argument? What else can we add? What have you learned from this broadcast about true African history? Okay, now somebody look, we got Callard Colder Drone in here. You got a cam up. I'm letting Chaos Reign not show his face because I already know who he is. But Calderon, you got a cam up if you want to come in. I don't really do the uncam stuff. But go ahead, Dale. What were you gonna add?
No, I'm just saying. I told you, like I said when I posted on the YouTube chat, I started studying what we call Black history, African history. I went through every iteration from being a kid born in the early 70s until now, and just studying stuff. And there's stuff every so-called Juneteenth, Black History time in February. There's at least 2 or 3 things that somebody posts somewhere or some YouTube story that we never see. And the question keeps coming out is, you keep seeing these atrocities. Where is it the opportunity for us to get out from under these damn politicians who've been bought out and taking checks from the media groups and placate to different people? Like, when is it time for us to turn? And it's funny, the brother Josh made an excellent point, because when I was in college, I'll never forget when, the brothers from Senegal and Nigeria and Benin and, all the Western African countries, and then Ethiopians would come in. We all worked at the same building on the student union, and they just kind of looked down on us as African Americans. And they'd say, "Oh, you guys are lazy." And then all of a sudden, when they see my picture up, because I got an internship at GE, it's like now they come knocking me, "Hey, Dale, how do I get at GE, or how do I get on that program you're on?" Then when I get out of school, it's like, "Hey, I saw that you were doing some good stuff. How can I come work over there?" And it's just like, why the hell are you asking me now when your ass was so absent when I'm asking you for it? I said,
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, and I was going to say, what I found ironic is the Asian kids from Korea, Thailand, and some of the Latin American kids never had a problem sharing work if they saw that you were working hard and that you can contribute to the group. But my African brothers and sisters, I could tell you for a fact, if I knew how to, when I got better at studying and getting the tools from the professors, then they want to be my best friend. But
Yeah.
before then, they never offered anything. And now it's just sad that they have to see us be successful, then say, "Oh well, you're different."
No, I got more to the point of that, but I find it interesting that it wasn't until after Black Americans became safe, we made this land safe for people of color, specifically other Africans. That's when Africans began to come to this country and basically take what little set asides that we had fought for. Go check out the go look at the Howard University Medical Center currently enrollment, all African names at the end. And see, here's what you got to understand. It was never thought that we would be able to, our first generation Africans would enter into an Ivy League setting and be able to compete with those white kids who had been there for generations, because they grew up around folks who basically spoke broken English. But over the generations, you went to Harvard, your son went to Harvard, your daughter went to Harvard. After a while, we'd be able to catch up. Yeah, the first couple of generations won't be as quick. You see what I mean? To pick up the information. But over time, we would have caught up with them. But now you got all these Africans and all these other people of color who came over and took our spots. So they just basically got in the way of our evolution. We're not supposed to be able to just jump in from your family was picking cotton and you just supposed to come in and be able to keep up with somebody whose dad was a senator and mom and grandfather was a multimillionaire business owner.
Right. Now you're black. Y'all
got in our way. When y'all came in and took our positions that was set aside for us to help build us up over time, it got in the way. You basically interfere with our progress. This is a gradual generational thing. 4 or 5 generations down the road, had you had consistent college enrollment in these elite level colleges, we would have been where we supposed to be. But guess what? After that first generation, you got all these Africans coming over here. Second generation, you got all these Africans coming over here, taking our spot. This after you sold us into slavery.
Yep.
This after you profited from selling us into slavery, and you know about it.
And then let us go into the plantation and recycle as poor sharecroppers.
But no, I'm talking about the Africans. You sold us into slavery. You know what we've been dealing with over here for the past 100 years. And instead of coming over here to help us, you send the elite of the elite to Africa, who are probably themselves descended from the same chiefs who profited from selling us into slavery, to come take our little spots.
Right. You lazy American. You lazy.
Yeah. So,
go
ahead. Go ahead.
Because now, when I look at pro-black as it stands today, and the dudes
let me do this before you ask this question. If you all are enjoying this conversation, if you think you've learned something, and I know y'all have learned something, I know you have. You ain't never heard nobody talk about reparations like this. I know you haven't.
Yeah,
you've heard a bunch of historians. You've heard a bunch of psychologists. You've heard a bunch. Yeah, brother. You ain't never heard a lawyer of my caliber. I'm talking Hall of Fame lawyer with 2 law degrees and 24 years of law experience and millions of dollars in judgments and settlements. You've never heard nobody talk like this. I'm literally giving you a game plan and I'm putting my own money behind this. The least you could do is show your appreciation by paying me for my time. You understand me? And I'm not talking about the time and energy it took for me to read all these books. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about all that time. I'm talking about for this hour, 2 hours I've been on here. Show your appreciation by paying me for my time. So you want everything on the cheap. That's why you've been getting the results you're getting. You want high quality intellectuals. You want people who actually care about you. You want people who are on your side. You got to pay for the time. Don't treat me like that. You understand what I'm saying? Show me the love that you should show me in the form of paying me for my time that I spend away from my family dealing with this. At the end of the day, I'd like to give reparations, but I don't need it. But you know what? Your children and your grandchildren may need it. And if what we set in motion right now is something that they can pick up. Because see, in 100 years, the Africans are going to be balling. They're going to have the oil, they're going to have the resources, they're going to have the minerals. And you know who's not? African Americans. We're going to be at the bottom of the food chain. Right? We are going to be below. You understand me? And so as Africa comes up, they have an obligation to take care of Black Americans because they're the reason that we're here in the first place. So y'all make sure y'all pay me for my time. Shout out to Lance Jackson for being the first one up. Y'all make sure y'all do that. But go ahead,
maybe you should do a commercial, Uncle D, for them to start.
I want to go ahead.
Okay, all right. My question, and I'll probably repeat this in regards to a lot of Black people, especially the ones that pro-Blacks. In your mind, do you think, not believe, but think that they're now gatekeeping a content that really truly, from the information you lay out from not only this live stream but previous live streams, if people go back, they're gatekeeping in hopes that they'll get some from the content in the end? That's why they push back in regards to how you lay out how this would be more and more feasible.
I gotta go. I'm sick.
I want you to restate that question. Anybody else who wants to come in, we got.
I'll say it. That these the ones that's pro-Blacks, they are defending Africa because by defending it, because some of them have gone back there. The
thing about the pro-Blacks is they want you to always be focused on the white man as your number one enemy. You see what I mean? Because they want you to fight the battle against the white man. This white man who is keeping them down. This white man, because at the end of the day, they want to get rid of him so they can take his place. Yeah, white people play a part in the oppression of people of color, but at the end of the day, white people wouldn't be able to do anything if it wasn't for the different people of every nationality who were paid off, Africans, Asians, Arabs included, who didn't let them come in. The whole story of Pocahontas was about a little Native American girl who basically was paid off with love or sex or whatever to be a traitor to her people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. The reason that white folks have been able to make an inroad is because they've been able to convince people to sell out for the things they have. And here's the cold part about it. The sanitized version of the African slave trade was that, oh yeah, they paid $100 a head. The truth is they traded you for buckets of beer, pots, a horse, some hay, a handshake, a gun, a pistol, whatever it was. You were meaningless to these people. You see what I'm saying? So, go ahead, brother. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that answered my question. And I wish I saw the first book you showed with the picture of Black folks. I think I might have the book that
this one right here.
All right, color font. Okay.
Yeah, it's right here, man. It's all there. This book was just published because remember, the so-called intellectuals didn't want this published. This just got published in 2018. They didn't want to cause problems between Africa and African Americans. Remember, 1827, you got Marcus Garvey. Let's go back to Africa. If you told these African people, them Africans benefited, it's 1827 or 1927. Them Africans sold y'all into slavery, right? And they did it on purpose. And on y'all way out, they cut a bunch of people's heads off that was your family and friends and told you, don't come back. They did that. Y'all wouldn't want to be going back to Africa. They needed you to romanticize Africa. The so-called father of Black history, Booker T. Washington, okay? Yeah. He purposely omitted this. He purposely didn't pay this woman her full salary so that she wouldn't finish her work. This was just released in 2018 because the trust that had it, she's like, I'm not gonna do the rest of this work, this time I spent with this Mr. Cujo Lewis, and you not paying me. You see what I'm saying? They purposely undermine these so-called Black elites, the same Black elites that think Black folks are too dumb to govern themselves are the same ones that tell you stuff like, oh yeah, you don't want to give a Black man all that money. You don't know a Black man, what they're gonna do with it. Why do you care?
Yeah, why do you care? I still hate that.
I want to put your money in your pocket. You go do whatever the hell you want to do it. Yeah, you can buy land or a Cadillac. I don't give a damn. You can spend it on weed if you want to. It's your money. It's like your paycheck. This is back pay. This is restitution. Stop thinking that Black people, stop treating us like we children. They treat you just like those liberals treat you.
Infantilization.
Those liberals don't think that you are grown enough or mature enough to make your own decisions.
Exactly.
That's how these same so-called black elites treat you. What does that tell you? You see what I'm saying?
The condescending nature of the people who sold us over here in the first place. That's what it
I'm
alludes
talking
to.
about the black folks right here, right now, that are against you getting cash money in your pocket for reparations.
Because they're getting cash money to keep you stupid
and too immature to do what's in your best interest for your money. That's why any one of them to tell you that. Well, I think we should buy scholarships. I think we should do. You can't give a black man all that money.
Stupid.
Yep.
These people are telling you that they think less of you. I'm telling you, these so-called pro-black, any MFer in 2024 that refers to himself as a pro-black ain't nothing but a white supremacist in blackface because they think they know better than you. They just want to be in charge of you. I preach a freedom doctrine on this page. You are free men. You can come and go as you please. Nobody is to tell you what to do. You have earned your right to be free and an autonomous human being in this country and in this world. You owe nobody anything. The black man has paid his debt 20 times over to everybody who he might have owed it to. You don't owe nobody nothing, not black women, not black children, not the community, not the United States, not Africa, not nobody. Whatever you choose to do after that, understand you do it because of your own free will. You are autonomous. That's what I preach on this page. That's why people don't like what I'm saying. You understand me? And if I'm able, or some lawyers in the future are able to take this work that I'm putting and put together and put money in your pocket, you free to do with it what you want to. You understand?
But that's why they do it.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But see, listen, I work for both political parties, so there's certain things I can't say publicly because of whatever. But I could tell you for a fact that I know that certain people have been paid to have a position to keep us coming out to vote. Because if you pay attention to it, you always know it's election cycle because the same 4 or 5 faces show up on CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, counter argument on Fox. And then all of a sudden, after election's over with and the inaugural ball's done, then they disappear for another 2 years. And it's time for another round of election because they're getting paid to keep. Because the thing is it goes back to what Dr. King said toward the end, which is when he started talking about bringing the United States before the World Court for economic solutions. He says, I did all this stuff for politics. I thought that was the right way to do it. Now I'm convinced that the moderate and liberal wing of the Democratic Party just doesn't give a damn, to paraphrase.
Right. Yeah. Marcus Garvey came to the same conclusion. So did Malcolm X. So did Thurgood Marshall. They all came to the same conclusion. It is the liberal wing of the Democrat Party that takes on a parental role. And that's the same mentality that these so-called pro-blacks and intellectuals and Pan-Africanists have. They think that you don't know enough to govern yourself. And I'm telling you that you are free men. You are free, autonomous thinking human beings, and you know nothing to anyone. That's what I'm telling you.
You don't have to vote for Joe Biden.
You understand what I'm saying? You do what you want to do. As long as it's legal and it's lawful, you do what you want to do as black men. And that's what I want. That's what I want you to take away from my page. You are free men. Okay? But let's get my man Glow up in here, bro. What have you picked up so far? Because I still ain't heard no opera. Where the ops at? Where y'all at? Y'all have a lot to say on the internet.
I'm gonna caveat.
Chaos Rain. Why are they not here tonight?
I have no idea. I sent the link to one of them, but I don't think.
Where is he at? Come on in here. Let's hear about it. Let's hear your fancy arguments about why I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about. Why don't y'all Google me on Pace and look at all the hundreds of people that I've sued successfully? There's probably not a company in the United States that I haven't successfully sued, got a judgment on settlement from. And you telling me this is a very simple concept. It's not complicated, which means that either the people who are in charge of the reparations movement before are strategically ignorant, or they just didn't want y'all to know, or they just ignoring facts. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Let's say you want reparations, black folks. Let's listen. Let's think about it hypothetically. You want reparations. Okay, well, who's at fault for your condition and why you here? What's the first thing they're going to do? Well, clearly, how'd you get here? We came from Africa. Okay, who brought you here? Well, at first it was legal and then it became illegal. Okay, well, there's about 30% of y'all who came here after it was illegal and they have descendants. Oh, wow. So it was illegal for them to, yeah. Well, if it was illegal, how did it happen? Did the white man get off his boat? These sailors, these 12 sailors, right? These 12 sailors on this schooner called the Clotilda, they went up in there with their little muskets and just ran in there and gathered up 150 black folk. They from like New York and New England. Don't know anything about Africa. They just got off their boat, ran up into Africa, and came out with 125 black people. You think that's what happened? No. There was a slave market set up. The king of Dahomey and all these other kings had slave. All you had to do was pull up, baby. It was drive-through slave catching. You understand me? Let me get 4 Negroes, three bad witches, 7 kids, put them on the boat with a bag of French fries and a sack of cotton, and we'll be, well, sir, can you pull up around the front? The babies won't be hatched for another 2 months. We're going to bring it out to your boat, okay? All they did was pull up. This is what they literally had a drive-through for picking up slaves. Hey, what's up? Yeah. Put them in the back. Put them in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. And the dude over there had an Uber Eats for slaves. Like, yeah, go on over there and get them and bring them back here to Alabama. White folk, they just pulled up. These are pre-existing black-owned businesses. Don't y'all like black-owned businesses? Don't y'all like that? Isn't that what you Negro folk like? Y'all like black-owned. The king of Dahomey had a black-owned business. Selling niggas. That's what he did. That's what he did. Yeah. And y'all like, we just gonna ignore that guy. And we just, okay, let's just get the white man. Well, we're gonna ignore that guy though, right? The hell with him. Okay, we don't see. We can't see what he's doing over there. Oh, we don't look over here. We don't see none of that. That's what you're gonna do? That is intellectually dishonest.
Yes.
That is intellectually dishonest for you ignore the whole slave markets in Africa, which was sanctioned by these African kings, these chiefs. Come on, y'all. Somebody type African king in the chat room. Didn't y'all want to be African kings? This is what the African kings did to y'all. Don't you want to be chief? The chief was the one that rounded them up and took them to the king and sold them for a goat's head full of beer and a sack of cotton. Okay? And then the king, all right, I'll give you a cut later. This is what you've been romanticizing Africa for all the wrong reasons, fam. We are African descent. We are not African people. We are foundational Black Americans with our own culture. We got under here unlike any other group of people. And y'all need to get that fantasy out of your mind. Get it out of your mind. It would be much easier to talk to a bunch of Black folks who was fresh off the plantation who didn't romanticize Africa than it is to try to deal with some of these Generation X and baby boomer generation, because y'all romanticize Africa for the wrong reason, man. It's told that the French had to come in and shut down the slave trade in Africa. The French came in. This is what they did. The French in 1898, the French came in and shut down the white folk. It was the white folk patrolling the west coast of Africa that had to stop the African kings from selling slaves to Brazil. And some of these, and the pirating of slaves back to the United States. This I'm saying, this history is gonna come up. You know what, Judge, we'd like to dismiss this case for failure to bring in a necessary party. Oh, really? Yeah, no. Yeah, they named the white European slave traders and the insurance company, but they forgot to blame the people who actually sold it to them. Y'all named the pimp and y'all named the John and the prostitute and didn't name the pimp, the co-conspirator. This is where it started. You understand? This is the one who stole the merchandise in the first place and then sold the stolen merchandise to somebody who transported the stolen merchandise to somebody in America who bought the stolen merchandise. The whole damn crime wouldn't have happened had they not stole them in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not be ignorant people. Let's separate ourselves from our emotions. Stop romanticizing Africans. 6 black women just got murdered in the Gambia over the past 2 years. This is what happened when you take your black asses over there. They treat you like you're a foreigner. You can't keep a goddamn pair of shoes. My brother, come brother, you know you have to get the village to agree with you. Okay, you cannot just come and be the land. The chief have to agree with you. Man, no, brother, no, you are not African. You are American. You are American. But I take your money, my brother. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even treat you like you Africans. You could be black as midnight. If you're American, they're gonna treat you like that. Y'all ain't got to like me, hate me all you goddamn want to. I don't give a damn. Anyway, shout out to Martin Dupree. Here's something to the collection plate of you. I appreciate y'all. And shout out to my man George Cox. Thank you so much. And Randy Irvin and Cordell Wood. What you got to say, brother? Go ahead. Go ahead, praise God. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dale. Go ahead. I'm sipping out the
I was just thinking about that joke from Paul Mooney when I saw him live when he came here to Atlanta. I still think about he was like, everyone wanted to go back to Africa. And I wanted to know why the hell did y'all come get us?
Yeah.
Hey, somebody get this Either Smooth dude up here, bro.
Oh no, leave him alone. E Smooth, come on up in here. E Smooth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then the Spurling, you got a whole white dude, Professor Mex, and the Rocketeer. Your channel with the rich going up against your own people. You're an effing clown. Whitey and the blacks. No, man, no, I am foundational Black American. Africans are not my people. Let me say that again. Africans are not my people. I am FBA. And how do I know Africans are not my people? Because Africans say they're not my people. Challenge me on that. The Africans will tell you that I'm not African. The Africans will tell Dale, Glow, and Chaos Reign that they're not African. I'm playing by the rules that they set. So if you want to be my opposition, well, fuck it. Let's go be ops then. Playboy, that's what we do. You understand? You want to be my opposition, I'm going to help you be my opposition. And excuse my language.
Uncle
Africans have let us know for hundreds of years that we are not Africans. So why are you still calling them your people? Yes, I acknowledge my African roots. But if I was African, the Africans wouldn't be treating us like we're Americans. So stop labeling somebody something that they don't want to be. They don't want to be associated with you like that. Not unless they want your money. Not unless they trying to come over here and take your little position at the doggone.
Yep. Say it again, Uncle D. Say it again, Uncle D.
That's when they become.
Say it again, Uncle D. Unless you give them something that they don't want to deal with you.
So what are you talking about, my people? This is foundational Black Americans. That's my people. Who you talking about? E Smooth the God? You damn demon? That's what you are. A damn lying, foolish demon. Let him stay up in here. Come on up in here and get this smoke.
Uncle D, please let me say this because it be really boiling. It really boils my blood because that not only do they come over here and take our spots, but they also assist the industry in which discredits our image. Like I was reading an article about
you're right about
this think piece. Like they're coming into academic. You have African women coming in to academic spaces, adopting the liberal ideology that's already permeated in Black American women, and then legitimizing it through academic studies, legitimizing it through academic publications, and we're still over here, kissing the feet of an African king, bro.
If somebody show you who they are, man, you got to believe them, man. Look, I got some African people I love. I got much love on an individual basis, some Africans that I'm cool with and everything. But as far as my side, I'm foundational Black American. Why? I ain't white. I ain't Mexican. You understand me? I'm definitely not Arab, but Asian. You see what I mean? I'm foundational Black American. And Africans will tell you we not African. We can be of African descent, but you're not an African. You understand me? By what they've established in their parameters, we are not African. So you need to go ahead and do the best. Do what's best for your side. Go ahead, Dale.
So on another note, coming from corporate America, you know how you fill out that the census, the Department of
Mm-hmm.
Labor, right? What's fascinating is if you look, there's North African, Middle Eastern is the only quote unquote black or darker skinned African that's pulled out of that census. Everybody else is either black, Middle Eastern, North African, whatever, India, etc. And so I
Mm-hmm.
used to ask buddies of mine who came in from Nigeria, Benin, and come work at our company. I said, "So what do you fill out?" It's, "Oh man, since I filled out in high school and college, I have been a white man." I was like, wait, but
they
you're black. Why don't you put, "Oh, I'm not a black American"?
don't want to be like you. They're not you. They're not
Yeah,
black.
exactly.
They will
Exactly.
tell you they're not black. Why do black people constantly trying to make Africans be black? You're not. They're not black. They don't want to be like you. So what are you gonna do about it? You gonna try to force something on somebody? They don't want to be like you. You see what I mean? And you need to go ahead and accept it. They just accept that. Just realize that's what it is. As much as you romanticize Africa, that's not where they at with you. Great topic of discussion. I often talk about the topic with other people and point out how many West African nations are complicit in slavery. We need to practice group economics. Martin Dupree, here's something to the collection plate. Thank you so much. Look, I'm working hard. I'm giving you these arguments. I'm making y'all deal with some harsh realities that you don't want to deal with. And maybe it won't work for you. Maybe you're just so drilled down on your permanently held beliefs that you stuck with it. But there are generations of people who will come behind us and they're gonna look at this work that I'm doing. They're gonna say, you know, that dude was on to something. And it takes a lot to be able to sit up here and do this and think this
Excuse me.
and deal with the public. And if you appreciate what I'm doing, not only should you hit the like button and subscribe button, it takes your time to hit the subscribe button, the like button. You should pay me for my time. Chaos Rain, Glow, Dale, who hadn't spoken yet? Go ahead, let's hear it.
I think Glow spoken.
Go ahead, Dale. What were you gonna say on that? I think you were up next.
No, I think it's my brother chose. I think, or Chaos. Sorry, I think that's he was up.
Go ahead, Chaos. What were you gonna say?
But really, be honest with you, they can come up and have the conversation, but
They're not coming up here, man.
They're not coming up. They're wasting time.
They're not coming up here because if they come up here, they're gonna sit up here and they're gonna like, oh, I mean, just simply asking them the timeline. Okay, so you're saying, and I'm gonna answer this question again. Let me hit y'all again.
Mhm.
If you are a corporation and you take over another corporation, you not only take on that corporation's assets, but you also take on that corporation's debts.
Yep, absolutely.
If the country of England, which was at one point a monarchy, now becomes a republic, and that country had debts and blood and treasure that it had accumulated while it was a monarchy, this republic, under this parliamentarian system, can't just tell these innocent third parties, oh, well, we're a different form of government now. So those debts that we owed you are now, we've abdicated, they're no longer valid because we don't, that form of government doesn't exist anymore that governs this land. But the land exists, the resources exist, the same people are there, the same people who came from that lineage are there. What are you talking about? It's not like Martians came down from space and landed in Togo, Benin, and these places. Like, these are whole different people. You're the same people.
Yeah.
Man, y'all got the same name. It's the same plot of land. The same land y'all took from us. Because see, these Africans that were brought to this country, we had land over there. We had title over there. So they sold us, incorporate our land. What about that? You understand? And they did it at a time when slavery was illegal. That time, and we're talking about that time period from 1808 to 1860. What about that time period? Okay. But anyway, go ahead, brothers. Who else? Dale?
So one thing I noticed, playing, because I grew up playing for churches and some big churches and got buddies that got some stuff. What I find interesting, and I think this is maybe a little bit off topic, but it's kind of a dotted line. It's just incredible growth and push of Afro beats. You know, Davido and all these other.
Oh, they got money now.
Right. So
They got money, bro. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, baby.
yeah,
They got
kicking hip hop
money now.
over
They
here.
got that bacteria.
good one, Dale. Good one, Dale.
Minerals now. They got
Yeah.
technology that done sent their people all around to America and England to get educated. Oh, they gonna be talking big stuff about Black Americans in a minute. They already talking about it. Look, I want you to look. I want you to slow down. I want y'all to hear me real quick. Listen to me. Them Africans can't wait to talk stuff about Black Americans. They've been chomping at the bit to be able to talk about Black Americans. Because, oh yeah, you know what? We are the only Black people that matter now. Look, we have our own. Look at our country. Look how beautiful it is. Lagos and all these. Y'all want to come back here. They're going to be talking about y'all real bad in the next 10, 15 years. When they got the Afro beats, all the champions, all the boxing champions. When we had a Muhammad Ali, guess what? Muhammad Ali embraced Africa. I don't see these Africans from Africa embracing Black America, whether they're an MMA champ or a boxing champ. They're not embracing Black America. They quick to tell, even Anthony Joshua, he quick to tell you, no, I'm from, my people from Africa. You understand me? They quick to do that.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. So they see themselves as being on the rise. The whole world is telling them, yeah, Africa's on the rise. Africa's where the minerals are. Africa is going to be where the oil is. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to rise up and they will leave you behind. Unless you come up with a game plan to make sure Africa's rise, you're tied to Africa's rise, then you're going to get left behind, family.
It's infuriating. When I bring these points up, because I went to a PMI, which is a predominantly minority institute, and so there were a lot of international students, and I dealt with like the international students first, and we have like a heavy African student population, and so like when I would bring up topics that are relevant to being compensated properly for, because this is eventually what the conversation becomes. When I would bring up these topics and add valuable points, they would knock them down, and I'm like, what reference point are you speaking from? Because you weren't here when everything that happened, all the trauma that was inflicted on us occurred. You came here after we, like one of the commenters said, set up stage. And honestly, I think that they're just trying to keep us in a place of inferiority. And not that we're in a place of inferiority, but they're trying to pretty much make it permanent that we because they're already like, we saw them over here. We already think that we're smarter than them in general. So like, also we're gonna play this sight game, because that's essentially what they're doing. They know that they sold us over here.
Look, man, let me tell you something. Go get your money. Stop holding back. Let's get together. We got this dude, Donald Trump. Hopefully he wins. He'll sign a piece of legislation like that.
I know.
You understand me?
Because it's about the money for him.
Yeah, look. Let's all get. I don't care where the money comes from. I just want you to get the money in your pocket. I don't care where the money comes from, as long as my foundational Black American people get that infusion of that 100 billion, trillion, whatever it is. I'm sure we got some accountants to calculate that. As long as we get it, or get it coming in on a regular basis, I don't care where it comes from. I don't care which one of these defendants pays it. Let's get that legislation in place. Let's draft the legislation that grants African American foundational Black Americans permission to sue the complicit African nations for their violations of the 1808 anti-slavery treaty. And if you can trace your history back, like these people in the Clotilda case, to an African nation, to a specific act, then by God, you should be able to sue. Yeah. And I think that that's a first step in a long journey, but we need to be made whole again. And the facts are all there. It's not, look, the thing about these Europeans, these white folks, they kept great records. They might have burned some records, but the records are there. If you're willing to look, the records are there. And if it's worth it to you, it's worth it. Now, what'll end up happening, if you get enough people with valid claims, you get something like a class action suit pending. And now what has to happen, just like the asbestos cases, they got to set up a trust. Yep. So you name all these different nations and say, okay, here's what's going to happen. Africa on the rise. Over the next 50, 100 years, y'all need to put $1 trillion in this account. If you don't, we're going to start taking y'all oil. We're going to start seizing y'all's bank accounts. That's the alternative. Either you're going to pay it to us, you're going to dole it out in increments, you're going to pay us just like they made Haiti pay. You see Haiti got to pay France 100 years later. They need to pay us for their part. Now, at some point, hey, they might say, well, we want to sue these Europeans who play their part. Well, y'all work that out. Y'all go, you African countries with y'all millions of African on the rise dollars and money. You go sue Europe and all these insurance companies. We gonna sue y'all because at the end of the day, you're the one that sold us to these people. Had it not been for you capturing us off our land and selling us, we wouldn't be in the first place. Ain't no white man gonna run off no boat and catch me. I'm sure my ancestors running a 4-2 flat, baby. 4-2 flat.
6'6"
We
running
up
that
there with the cheetahs. You're not gonna catch us. It was other Africans that caught us. You understand what I'm saying? So I want y'all to begin to fix your minds on no longer begging for reparations. Fix your minds on taking what is owed to you using the American legal system, because everybody has money over here. Everybody has wealth over here. Bank account, oil, everything. And if it's not here in the United States, it's in one of these European countries. Those African generals and the royal, they not keeping their money in no doggone African banks.
No.
I bet you that's for sure. So you know where it is. It's going to be in some European bank or some American bank. So why not? What's the problem? Man up. You got to do what you got to do. Some of you guys have been to war before. Let me get this straight. You done shot people of color and brown people and black people for the United States military, but you're afraid to take their money because you love them. Think about that. I want y'all to process that. Y'all quick to shoot each other up to Chicago. Where's Chicago at? Y'all blow your brother head off, but now you tell them you don't want to take these African money for the debt that they owe you. Shout out to the people in LA, North Side, South Side, Houston. Y'all be fighting and fussing off. Let's get this money, baby. It's a quick, easy route. It's just, look, the stuff will be published this year. It's going to be out there, these news articles, these legal articles. I'm not asking for nobody's help. I don't care what you say. You see what I mean? It really don't matter to me what everybody else is doing. This is a one-man show. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that don't hit right to a lot of black people. A lot of black people overvalue their opinion. I don't care about your opinion. I ain't never needed nobody else's opinion. That's what makes me American. You understand what I'm saying? That's that. You know, these barons that we have, these oil barons and tycoon, they don't care about nobody's opinion. I'll pay you to do what I say do. If it don't work, we'll try something else. But I don't see why this avenue ain't a viable avenue to get us to where we going. But let's go ahead and anybody else got something to say, man? Chaos Reign, your people ain't showed up, bro. Where they at?
I have no idea, Uncle D. I have no idea.
Tell them the reason that show that you had only got like 10, 20 viewers is because the people that would have viewed it realize they don't know what they're talking about. Now, this show that we're gonna have about 8,000, 9,000 people look at it because they're like, damn, maybe it's something there. You see what I mean? All I'm trying to do is spark the interest and get everybody on the right page. Glow Hardy, go ahead, bro. Talk to me.
Uncle D, did you talk about the tribes of not the tribes but the black people that was selling us here once we got to land and like they own? You did talk about that.
Oh well, I hinted on that a little bit. I'm working on this book right now, man. I try to on my Sunday afternoon walks. I'll try to read like 40 or 50 pages. But this is the black slave owners and free black slave masters in South Carolina from 1790 to 1860. So yeah, black people own other black people. So when you start talking about slavery, when you start talking about who benefited from slavery, what I'm beginning to understand is that becoming a slave owner was like the American dream.
Yes.
No, I want y'all to hear me on this. Look, I want you to hear me. As I read this book, you had black people who, once they became free, what they want to do is go get some slaves for themselves. And it wasn't just relatives. They was like, this one dude, he was a blacksmith. And he went and got him another slave, and taught him to be a blacksmith so he could sit up and chill. You understand? So being a slave owner back then, I was like, this life is good.
Yeah.
You see? So this is what y'all understand. We looking back at slavery. Oh my God, what a horrible thing. That's like us looking back at caveman to how did they hit them women upside the head with them bats and drag them back? That was what they did back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was the thing. It's like us looking at I don't know. It's all kind of atrocious stuff that we do. But it's like you trying to place your modern day judgments on these people who lived in a different time when things were brutal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's just a different time period, man. It's just a whole different time period. It's a different value system, and it is what it is. But yeah, when I finish talking about this, 2/3 of the people who own slaves in South Carolina were women in this country.
And it goes back. It all connects.
They got it from.
It all connects.
They got it from bed winching and having masters' babies. This is where they got it from.
It all connects. Like it goes back into like talking about feminism and women's suffrage.
How do we sue the white people who own slaves in this country and not sue the black people who own slaves in this country? And more likely than not, fam, I want you to hear me. More likely than not, each and every one of you black folks that are watching this broadcast right now have a slave owner who is black in your family line. Let me say that again. Each one of you black folks who are watching this broadcast right now have a black person who was a slave owner. Now, some of y'all gonna say, well, they was just buying their cousin and their mom and them. You can't tell from the census.
Yep.
Who bought who for what? So what it looked like is the great grandmammy was a slave owner. That's what it looked like. And so you're gonna automatically be eliminated from the reparations get paid fund because your people was a slave owner. Now, how do we get around that? Well, let's sue them people in Africa. We'll just sue them at the source. We'll get the money over here and sort it out later on once we get the money over. You understand what I'm saying? Is it starting to make sense now?
It makes perfect sense to me.
Because what else?
I'll be getting tired of people
reparations.
I'm getting tired of people
eliminate. Listen to me. Strategically speaking, everybody that you cannot eliminate ahead of time from getting from getting reparations are gonna line up for a check. Yes, my brother, how are you today? Yeah, I have suffered so much racism since my family came here from Nigeria in 1985. And because of this, I think that I should get all them scammers, damn Nigerian scammer, they're gonna get all the money. The white woman, I'm 1/8 black.
Yep.
Karen, you don't get yourself down. Karen is gonna take that she's gonna take that little pink toe and put it over the front of the line. You know the little line that when you in line at the airport, she gonna put that foot. Let me tell you what you're gonna put that foot over and get in front of all you black folks. Talk about my ancestry.com says that I am 2.3% sub-Saharan African. And so that entitles me to at least, I think, 1 million. It's only fair. Who's to say how black I am? You know, the one drop rule says what? You know, 1 drop of black. So I should be entitled to the same amount. They're going to get all the money. So what do? You eliminate that ahead of time. We eliminate by saying, look, by holding the Africans responsible and making them culpable, now the Africans can't line up and get their reparations money. The white folks can't line up and get the reparations money unless they can trace their ancestry back to this time, but they can't do it. The Mexicans can't do it. The Native Americans, well, what about us? We have been oppressed by the white man. Yeah, but you was not sold by this African king. Did you Native Americans go to Africa and then get sold and sent back here? No. So it's only the people who were captured and sold and sent over here who could trace their root. I'm telling you, you guys got to think like a lawyer to figure this out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man.
I just don't. When you see, and then they minimize the fact that there were black slave owners in the U.S. by saying that, well, there wasn't as many black slave owners as there were black slaves. I was like, bro, like you still had a group of people within your own
There
nation
wasn't as many black people as there
victimizing.
was white people over here. So that makes sense, right? But percentage-wise, it was damn close. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, bro. Hey, look, man. I'm not. I can explain it to you. I can't make you understand. Okay, let me tell y'all again. All you folk who got a problem with this plan, it's not for you to understand. It's just not. Okay. And the other thing is, I'm not asking for your help. So what you got to say to me? Nothing. You gonna take it and like it or not like it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And see, black folks are not used to black men like me. They just not. They are not used to black men who are not begging and pleading and asking for approval. When have I on this page ever begged and pleaded and asked for y'all damn approval?
No, I rock with you, Uncle D.
You
For real.
And we needed about 1 million more black men just like me, and things would change. Stop asking for people's approval. And stop asking for their forgiveness either. I did it. It worked. Now you can either reap the benefit of it or go on about your business. Go ahead, Dale, brother. Brother Dale been with me the longest on this page tonight, this long, protracted broadcast. No. Hallelujah. Go ahead.
Man, you kill me with the African accent. I'm just.
What's that? You mean my brother? Hello, hey.
I am saying this. Just a minute. I am saying to you, I have a song coming out. I'm going to take the money as a black man when we get to reparations for us, and I'm going to have a cell phone program for all of the black people around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got all the accent, baby.
I'm going to have 300 million cell phones, and I'm going to sell half of them to white women in Great Britain.
You know, you sound like a very English-based Nigerian on that one, brother. You got to work better. Hey, you got to. Hey, it comes from the gut.
She has to be. She has to be at least 400 pounds.
Mm-hmm. You got to work better, but you know, like I do a lot of accents and stuff like because I travel a lot. I listen to people. I listen.
Oh, no, and when you listen to people, I can do the real one. I'm just being nice tonight.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, I got people thinking I'm Dominican because I be doing that. Well, to get away, you know, I know how to do that too. You know what I'm saying? I think people are funny. I listen to people. Yep. And I don't just listen to their words. I try to understand their culture and why they say what they say. Yep. But anyway, Chaos, what else you want to say, man?
No, man, I think I exhausted us enough, you know.
Yeah, you go tell your little friends, tell your little ugly friends, a little silly, unprepared friend. Like this is not, they're not meant to understand it. And see if they understood it, they'd have came up with the idea.
Hey, Anthony Nelson, he disagreeing with you,
Where you at? Come on in, baby. Where's Anthony? I don't see nobody named Anthony. Come on in. Where you at?
He said Africa should not. We have a whole continent enough for everyone.
Tell him to come on in. I want y'all be respectful. What's his name? Where's that? Anthony. Africa should not. We have a whole continent enough for everyone. But we don't want to come back there, Anthony. Y'all gonna sell us again. Y'all just gonna sell us east next time. Next time the Chinese are gonna own us. Why would we trust you to come back there? And y'all haven't compensated for your first transgression. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We got African Americans going to the continent right now. Did y'all not just see the broadcast I did a couple of weeks ago where I talked about how 6 African American women were unalived by their so-called Gambian husbands, and the Gambian husbands are living in the house right now? Did y'all not see that? Why would we come back over there for that? Huh? Why would we come back over there for that? This is how y'all treat us. See, I'm not going by, you tell me that we're not African, so I'm just playing by the rules that you gave us, fam. But come on up in here. I got my brother down. His name is Calderon. Bro, you got to put a shirt on and sit up. You ain't coming in here with the shirt off.
Come on, man. You gotta be professional, man.
Your taco meat, you ain't coming in here, Calderon.
Goddamn, man.
Down and sleep and shit. I see you. I've been there about 15 minutes. I see you, but you're not coming in here. Put a shirt on, sit up straight. And I'm not playing. I got to go. I'm not about to sit up here all night with this shit. God bless y'all. This is Uncle D. I love you guys. Shout out to Dale Jenkins. Shout out to Glow Hardy, Chaos Rain.
man. You know,
Y'all niggas is crazy.
Anybody that has a problem with this argument, okay, ask them. Well, why do you have a problem with us getting our money from these African countries? Well, what is the problem? If it's largely based, I don't have it. They don't have it. It's not good enough. The countries didn't exist at the time. Is not good enough. The African kings didn't know what they're doing. Is not good enough. I've dispelled all that. What are the other excuses they use? We don't want to create divisiveness. You're already divided by a whole Atlantic Ocean, 500 years in the culture. You see what I mean? They are our brothers. Well, they don't think they're your brothers. They don't even think y'all the same people. So what other than these emotionally based arguments do they have? Do you want your money or not? You understand what I'm saying? If you want your money, nobody's going to give it to you. The U.S. government is going to fight you for another 600 years before you get it. So let's go ahead and take it from some people that we know owe us. That'll be basically the U.S. government will line them up for us. Yo, yeah, here, go get them. They'll line them up for us. You see what I mean? Why not? Do you want your money or not? Calderon, glad you put your shirt on. I'm gonna let you go ahead and say something. Go ahead. What you got to say about this subject?
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Good, brother.
Can you hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, you're fine. Praise God.
Yeah, I was just listening to you about African reparation, and I think you should sue the African government, corrupt African government that are the descent of the all African king, the slave that sold your people, and you should sue them. You understand? And I was born in Europe. I'm from African parentage, and I think that you should not give up suing all the African government. I'm based in England, by the way.
Yeah. I'm glad you understand. There's a look, see, and we can still be friends. Just let me get my money. You understand what I'm talking about? Like I don't take this personally. It's not personal. It's like you owe a debt. You see us over here struggling. You done had all this time to try to make the thing right. You see us getting shot by the police, and you can't get jobs. And every time something goes bad in America, we get blamed. Y'all don't want us back over there. I want all 40 million of you black folks to get on the Love Boat in your designated city and try to float back to Africa and see if they don't. No, my brother, you cannot come here. You got to go back to Compton, go back where you belong. They don't want you over there. So the least they can do is pay us. You see what I'm saying? At least give us our money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
give
sir.
Us our money and look, we're gonna be fine. You give us our money, we'll be fine. You infuse $1 trillion into the black community over the next 50 or 100 years, we will be fine. You understand me? Because most of our problems are poverty problems. Most of our problems are we have been pushed down instead of helped up. White Americans are helped up. Latin Americans, look at the immigrant migrants coming over here. Yeah, you go now. You get 9,000, and you get 9,000. You get an apartment. Here's a little scooter bike for you, Paco. Here you go. Come on over. Have a baby. You can stay. We get pushed down. So let's get our come up. You see what I'm saying? So thank you so much, Calder. I appreciate that, man. I thank you so much, bro. And look, it's the right thing to do. And anybody who is the other thing you got to understand. I'm gonna say this. Some people just don't like ideas because they didn't come up with them. Just keep that in mind. Some people they got a problem with an idea because they didn't come up with it. And they don't want to, and remember the so-called the wokey wokes, the black powerites, the Afro dreadlock people, they've had a rock on this reparations thing for like 50 years. This has been the threshold of the woke side of Black America. The incense burning, Egyptian musks smelling, check all your chakras and make sure they're aligned in the morning, people. And now that you got some business people and some lawyers involved in them to say, look, y'all been going about this the wrong way. You can't pray to all your African deities to get this money. They don't want you to have it. You're going to have to go to the American government, get some Congress and some president to enact a law giving us permission the same way they did. They gave the Saudi Arabian family of the 9/11 victims of to sue the Saudi government. That's all we need. And now we
Oh,
got
that's
a
smart.
green light. Once I put these publications out here, once I put these articles, these law review articles out here, word will quickly get around. And the one thing I know about American justice, the one thing I know about American lawyers is that they're like sharks in the water. And if they see a deep pockets, they're willing to spend $4 or $5 million to get $100 billion. And you got lawsuit after lawsuit. And once we start setting precedent, that's really all that matters. Precedent is just a little foothold. And even if you suffer a setback, 10, 11 years later, somebody else might come along and say, well, hey, let's do it like this. The judges change, the benches change, you get a different ruling. We just need to set some precedent and get some legal framework so that we can begin to get compensated before we as African Americans disappear. Because we ain't got but about another 3 or 4 decades left before we're so diluted and so disjuncted. There's really nothing called African American anymore. Go ahead, Calderon.
Please give me a favor. Stop calling yourself African American. You're Black American. You're not African American.
Well, we call ourselves foundational Black Americans, but for the purpose of this conversation, you know, people understand what I'm saying. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you hear what the brother said, we're not African Americans. See? And that's the African brother telling you we ain't African. We Black, but we ain't African. So
yeah, exactly. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
About the reparation, how can you tell an American who's proper Black American like you guys and an African that try to pass off as a Black American for getting reparation? How are you going to deal with that?
Well, they got, you know, birth certificates, census records that go back to 1860, lots of stuff like that. We got census records that go back to 1860. That's where I got my own family stuff. And let me show you something. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I mean, here's the bill of sale for my people. This is my grandmother's father right here. And if you look into the records, if I look in the census records, and this is in Casilla, Mississippi, you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is a bill of sale. This is a replica of a bill of sale for my people. A.L. Pressgrove, he actually owned one of the plantations that my grandmother grew up on. You see what I'm saying? So we have records. And if you come over here and you're an African who comes to the United States, you're not gonna have that sort of, you're not gonna have that birth certificate and whatnot and the records that go back. So yeah, it's not we can do it. We can do whatever we want to do in America. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
that's the other thing I need you guys to understand.
Hey, look, Uncle D, I'm in the chat. You know, I'm a moderator. This female, she talking about some. You're not African, but you want Africa's money. Are you not Native Americans? You all sold us over here.
No,
so the whole conversation is about reparations.
You're right. We are not Africans because you say we're not Africans, and that's why we ready to sue you now and get our money. When we were brothers, we wouldn't sue you. But now
that part.
We have become so un-African that we are Americans, and now we ready to sue you. You see what I'm saying? You say you're not African, but you want African money. Yeah, we haven't been African since 1619, baby. You see? But just because we're not African doesn't mean, and you sold us away from our Africanness and our African heritage, that don't mean you still owe the debt. You got to pay me. Somebody type pay me in the chat room. Why they keep getting me riled up when I'm trying to live? Somebody type pay me in the chat room. Somebody type show me what is it? Show me the money. Where's that at? Pay me. Well, why they don't come up in here?
Pay how you weigh, baby. Pay how you weigh.
Why y'all don't come up in here? The link is in the chat room. Why y'all don't come up in here and talk to me, man? You ain't got to chop it up in the back.
They're intimidated. They don't want to have the conversation. They don't want to have a genuine conversation about this.
They don't want to. They can't join in yet because they got the turkey and the mashed potatoes cooking. You know, Big Shirley got to get the green beans, potatoes, ham, and
she got cornbread.
Cornbread. Ran out of oil. Had to go out to Publix to get that. And you know her good slides is busted.
Yeah, and let me run that back. I want y'all to understand something. Even if we wasn't African, we still gonna take the money. That's what we do as Americans. See, here's what I want y'all to understand. I am a fully realized American. You understand? We believe in might. Might equals right. The world belongs to whoever is strong enough to take it. This is
Oh
who
my
we're
God. Here
You
we go
understand
with
what
the
I'm saying?
Morris shit.
This
Here we
is
go with the
different.
Morris bullshit, the Morris history bullshit. Oh my, all
Yeah.
these 5%er, all
See,
this
this
fuck,
is what
all
I'm
this. Oh
saying.
my,
This
Jesus
is who's
Christ.
been in charge of the reparations argument, and that's why y'all haven't made any progress. I'm not gonna sit up here and learn the entire Moorish history. What we gonna do is quickly we're gonna get these articles printed and get the legal foundation and framework, and we're gonna see if we can create a political climate to get a slight change in the law, similar to what happened in the Saudi Arabian lawsuits on behalf of the 9/11 victim, and then we're gonna see if we can proceed forward. I'm not going through all that, bro. See, all of that is just a time waster. These are people who don't actually want to do anything. They want to tell you
Just
what to
smoke
do.
weed.
Let me tell you what's gonna happen. The minute let's say you were able to learn the entirety of the Moorish history, then they're gonna say, well, now you got to understand how many people live on the moon right now. They're gonna constantly change.
No. First of all, the moon is not real. You understand? It's a flat Earth. We all
Then
live
they're
on a
gonna tell
rock.
you the moon is not real and the Earth is flat.
Right.
You have got
Well,
to. They constantly change. Look, I'm a businessman. I'm a lawyer. Let's get straight to the point. Let's deal with what we got to deal with. I'm not gonna do all that. That's just crazy. But again, these type of people want to tell you what to do.
Smoking
You
too much
understand?
weed.
You can't have this unless you count all the dots on the roof, just to see
Uncle
if you
T.
do it. They want to have control. I want you guys to understand. They're so used to treating black people like we are enslaved people. They'll see people right now to tell you still a slave. You know you're a slave. You sitting in the first class of the goddamn JetBlue, and they tell you still a slave. You sipping goddamn drinks with your pinky up like that, and they telling you a slave. Got a white woman serving you peanuts and rubbing your balls, and they telling
I was about to.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I want to understand. I mean, I'm just looking. If you believe it, if you're foolish enough to believe these people, you can leave this country right now and go move to the farthest part of the earth and live in a cave if you want to. And they say, "Oh no, you trapped in America. You a slave." No, I could go live in a tree in a jungle in South Vietnam if I wanted to, and nobody would bother me.
Hey,
You're not those
Uncle
people.
T.
But go ahead, man. Go ahead. Somebody say I'm wild and praise God.
No.
Hello.
Uncle D.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, baby. I'm listening.
Yeah, are you the guy that was talking about Big Mama? Big Mama is dead. Are you?
I am saying that black men do not have the reverence. Yes, that's what I meant. Black men do not have the reverence and respect for black women that they once did. Those women that we revered and loved are no longer here. We got a bunch of twerkers and goddamn weed smokers. And what's that? Vape smokers. That's what we got, a bunch of twerkers and vape smokers out there. We don't revere these women like we once did. And that's why brothers are like, well, I don't even respect you like that. Why would I care if you trying to shame me into voting for one party or another? Yeah. And it's a good thing. Go ahead.
I was listening to your podcast. I mean, that was yesterday, and it was pretty long, but very interesting. I learned a lot from what you were saying. It was very good, very, very good, sir. Respect.
Thank you so much, bro. I preach all praises to the Most High. If black men would begin to actually speak the truth, we'd have a lot more understanding. And now that you're out from under the thumb of the matriarchy, you should begin to speak the truth. Black women will respect you more if you spoke the truth. If some of you brothers began to say no and hell no in front of some of them no's and start telling them and the rest of the world what you are and aren't going to do, you get a lot more respect. But as long as you wishy-washy and you simping and oh my God, I heard something the other day, man. I was watching Umar Johnson, bless his heart, and he said he was talking to two brothers who had married, ended up with some white women or something like that, and he was like, "Yeah, something about your money. Your money is going back to the white woman." He said, "Well, the brother was like, but I got black kids by my white wife. They're actually gonna go to the children. Well, doesn't your wife sit down and tell you, don't you have financial decisions with your wife?" And I'm thinking to myself, hell goddamn no. I'm not who sits around and discusses their financial interests with their wife? I don't do that.
Yeah, that shit weird.
I don't make decisions with my wife. Hell, I got a whole prenuptial agreement just so she can't never ask me about my damn money and decisions. You understand what I'm saying?
See, look, these people be having circular talking points. Look,
Yeah,
Dennis.
but what I'm saying is you got to understand these are the arguments these come up with. Now, this is what I want to address. Dennis is Hispanic and a mulatto. Africa ain't paying shit. Black Americans own slaves too. Cut yourself a check. Here's what my whole name is Dennis Demond Spurling. Now, Demond is my ghetto name. You know the money that travel up the street. Demond!
I thought that as soon as you said
Yo,
it.
grandma said, be in the house before the street lights come on. That's my ghetto name. If you knew me when I was a little boy, you'd be calling me Demond. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I call myself D. Demond. What part of my heritage is Hispanic called Cash God? Which one of my parents is Hispanic? Let me know. Tell me. Where you at? Come on up in here and tell me which one of my relatives is Hispanic. That's what country are they from?
I want to see a picture of his woman.
I want to know what part of Mexico that they named me Spurling in. That's what I want to know. What part of Mexico is Mississippi in? Huh?
I think that's Western European Mississippi. So
I'm trying to understand. The reason that they do this is they want to invalidate the argument by saying, "Oh, he ain't black, so he can't. He has no standing to have these conversations." That's what he's trying to say. Mulatto. No, I'm a red nigga. You know what that mean? That mean my daddy was red, my mama was red, my granddaddy was red. We've been red a long time. I'm a red nigga that'll whoop your black ass. That's what kind of red nigga I am. You understand? Me, Muhammad Ali, red niggas. You understand the difference? See, that's where I'm at. I'm not mulatto.
You're still black.
Mulatto would mean that one of my parents was like white or something like that.
Mm. But you're still black.
And the crazy part is, and I would let y'all see this, but I don't want to put my business. You know what? I might put my business out there in the street. I have less than 10% European in me. The rest of it is African and somewhere off of India or some shit like that where the dark-skinned people are. You understand what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? And what does this have to do with the legal arguments that I brought up? Call cash gutter? What does this have to do with the legal argument? That's why I want to understand. Y'all got me cussing, saying the N-word. I've been trying to get away from this. Bro. Who else got something to say, man? But why don't y'all come on up in here though? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Let's hear about it.
They never talk. The problem is, and this is something that a non-black, non-African, one of my homeboys from India said. He said when black guys, because he owned a bunch of stores, and they come in and talk and shit, he says, "Why is it with black people they always talk a lot and do so little?"
Ooh, hello.
He said, you say you're going to do something, you do it. You take care of it.
Yep.
But motherfuckers come in talking about they mad about the prices. And I think, get out the store, go down the street, go to Walmart.
Bro, and that's why so many black people, so many black men, that's why we don't get the respect we're supposed to get. You can't sit around and, bro, I'm a doer. You understand? I said I'm going to do my own TV show. I did it. I said I'm gonna be a lawyer. I did. I said I'm gonna own my own business. I did it. I'm saying I'm gonna be a great lawyer. I'm a member. I'm being inducted into the Hall of Fame for lawyers on April 6th at my law school. You understand what I'm saying?
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much, but I'm not waiting around for permission. No. See, the main problem with Black Americans is you've been told or brainwashed into believing that you're victims.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And that you can't do nothing without the permission of somebody else or they, whoever they is. Somebody type they in the chat room. They are keeping you down. You see what I'm saying?
The man.
And so they ain't been keeping you down since 1865. They got laws that said that they can't even do stuff to you like they used. They used to be able to keep you from living where you wanted to live, or going to school where you wanted to go to school, or having a job that you wanted to have. Now you can make your own job. You can educate your own children. They used to make you sit in the back of the bus. Now you can drive the bus if you want to. So as long as you got this fictitious barrier, as long as you got these artificial impediments, you're going to keep being held down. Ain't nothing you can tell me. Let me say this, man. I die for my freedom. I would literally lay down my life for my freedom. I lay down my life to do what I want to do. You can't tell me what I can't do. I'm gonna go as far as my intellect and my courage and my money and my finance and my ingenuity will take me. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I dare you to try to stop me. I'm gonna figure out a way to get done what I want to get done. And if more you black men would develop that mentality, then we wouldn't have to worry about nobody else. The person getting in y'all's way is your own 2 feet.
Hey, there's a great book. I don't want to interrupt you, but you
I hope y'all hear me.
I hear you. I hear you.
What's getting in your way is you. It starts with here. It starts right here. One step after another. It's not going to be easy. And even if you get knocked down, oh what? I tried. And I'm going to keep trying. You got to have a non-quitting spirit. But black men have been broken. You listen to all this stuff on the internet about what you can't do. You're surrounded by losers. You're surrounded by people who tell you what you can and can't do. And y'all begin to believe it, man. I'm just crazy like that. I don't believe you. Yeah. I've had people tell me what I can't do. I'm going to do it anyway. And 9 times out of 10, I succeeded at it. And you only going to be successful in this world if you have 2 traits. Either you got to be courageous and be able to conquer your fear, or you got to be too crazy to know that you should be afraid. You see, and then you'll go ahead and go forward. But you got, and sometimes it's a little bit of both. But y'all got to, look, I'm not afraid. And I'm not like y'all. I'm just not afraid. I'm not a scary black dude. I'm just not afraid. I mean, I'm not afraid of death. Because according to the people I grew up with, I was supposed to be dead at 26. I'm just not afraid. Life is too short to be afraid and not take the steps forward that you need to take forward. The least I could do is pay $10,000, $15,000 and have some people write these law review articles and publish them. That ain't gonna cost me nothing. Get the best, brightest minds in Black America to draft these law review articles and put them out there, and for the next generation to pick them up. That ain't hard. You see what I'm saying? It's not hard, is it? But anyway, bro, what was you gonna say before I cut you off?
I was gonna say I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this book. It's called Chains and Images of Psychological Slavery by Dr. Akbar. It was published in 1984, and he came and lectured on it twice when I was in college. Changed my whole perspective, and basically talks about that concept of we freed ourselves of physical chains, but for the psychological slavery release, we have to work towards relieving ourselves of it. Yeah. Being afraid of walking down the street, like he said, talked about how our parents and grandparents used to. And I saw my mom doing this. She was born in 1930. She would walk down the street, white person come, she'd move out the way as they started coming. I was like, what are you doing? I grab her by the hand and said, no, you keep your ass right here.
Yeah. I mean, but see, the thing is, you got that passed down trauma.
Yes.
And you know,
epigenetics.
And our people, what that's part of it, but it's the culture that's been passed down. It's our people that tell us that what we can and can't do. It's good having Africans come to the United States because they don't necessarily have that passed down trauma. And we see them out there doing it. And we were like, damn, it's because they don't have those impediments. You know what it's like when I was young, I wouldn't go to Beverly Hills. Like I knew coming from South Central, going to Beverly Hills, the police might pull me over and hem me up, so I would never go. Now I'm in New York, I'm hanging out on Fifth Avenue, I'm down in Miami, I'm hanging out in all them fancy places down there. But when it comes to LA, I'm always hesitant when I drive past that damn Santa Monica freeway, because like, I'm over here in Beverly, I'm headed toward Beverly Hills. Yep. It's just psychological at this point, because I grew up in a culture that said, don't go over there, you don't belong here. But these Africans coming from these other countries, they don't know that. You see what I mean? But everybody got them psychological hangups. But that's what being an adult is about. You got to grow up, you got to get over it. You see what I mean? You belong wherever you are. This world belongs to whoever is strong enough to take it and hold on to it. And you got to truly believe that. The world, nobody owns the world. Everybody owns the world. Both of those two things are true. So what does that mean? That means you have a right to whatever you can take and hold on to, because guess what? You ain't going to be able to hold on to it forever, because you ain't going to live forever. When you die, somebody else is going to pick up where you left off. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, look, fam, it's been interesting. It's been fun. The people that should have came in here didn't come in here. they running away. Chaos Rain, I'm sure they'll have something to say over there. Tell them that they are intellectually dishonest. They are unprepared for this conversation, and they are largely unread and unknowing, and they haven't prepared for this conversation. And so what they should do, instead of being naysayers, and quote me, instead of being naysayers, just sit back and watch me work. That's all they need to do. I didn't ask for their input. I'm not asking for their money. All I'm doing is letting the public know that this is what I'm doing. And that's not out of necessity. It's out of courtesy. You see what I'm saying? And the other thing is, if they're not gonna do anything about it, then they have nothing to say. Reparations is a debt that's owed to Black Americans for the crimes that were committed to us, both crimes against humanity and the actual violations of law. And if we can find a specific law that was violated in a specific group of victims that were that suffered or aggrieved as a result of that law, surely that's a great start. And here we are with this book that I popped up that is available for everybody's reading. You can get it on Amazon.
Uncle D, I'm at the inbox you.
You know what I'm saying? You can get it on Amazon for like $5. Read it yourself. And if any lawyer can't figure out, damn, that sounds like, we can maybe able to do something about that.
Uncle D,
you shouldn't even be talking on the conversation. You should speak on the conversation. Nevertheless, we got work to do. Hold on, brother. Nevertheless, we got work to do. We'll push this thing forward. We'll see how far it goes. And maybe somebody else will pick it up afterwards. But anybody who's interested in this conversation, you can email me at spurlingdennis@gmail.com. I'll try to put together a newsletter and kind of keep people posted in the real world. But for the most part, I'll be talking about it. Other than that, that's about all I got to say. Chaos Rain, what were you trying to add?
No,
very quick. Yeah, go on.
I'll just keep it short. I just need the name of the books. I'll hit you up on the inbox for this.
No. Let me give you the name of the books.
All right.
It's right here. It's called Barracoon.
Okay.
It is the story. It's the story of the last black cargo by Zora Neale Hurston.
Okay.
You can get it on. You can get it right there on Amazon. Okay. It's only 100 pages. This one's only 18 pages. Right. There's enough right there for a cause of action too. You can go to Wikipedia and look up this story, the Clotilda. It's right there. You understand what I'm saying? It's not difficult. If look, it's all available to you. It's been there. You understand? DJ Sigwan, you came in late. What you got to say?
Hey, peace to the room, family. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me turn the volume down on this other thing. So I just want to acknowledge you, appreciate you, Dennis, and appreciate your squad right here for getting this information out. I have been working on reparations for over a decade, and you are right. A lot of this babble and talk of what's going on. These Moors, they come up here. You got the Pan-Africans, they coming into our spaces surrounding reparations and just completely being agents of chaos. So this is a problem right here. We should have gotten our reparations when Obama became president. This is why Mitch McConnell was quick to say, well, you got your reparations, Obama, woot the woot and all that other stuff. But I know you're about to close out. I don't want to waste no time. Larisha Speaks, or Larisha Bonds. She is currently suing the state of New Jersey right now. She's a Black American woman from Seth Boynton Project, Brick City in the building, and you need her on your team, brother. I'm telling you. She's really like that.
What do I need? Why do I need her on the team? Tell me what she's doing.
She's currently suing the state of New Jersey. So when you see something, you say something, right? So she is a Black American sister who was discriminated against from the New Jersey Probation Division. Look her up. Larisha Speaks. LYRESHIA.
So is she suing for reparations or is she suing for some sort of discrimination?
Well, discrimination, but she is a reparationist as well, though. You know what I mean? So basically what I do.
What are her grounds for reparations?
Well, you'll have to speak to her about that personally.
Here's the thing, brother. I'm gonna be. Look, I don't need anybody's help.
Right, I understand that. You know what I mean.
Let me reemphasize that. Anybody's help that I need, I will pay them to do what I ask them to do. I'm not asking for anybody's help. This is not done by committee. I just don't need anybody's help. I got my own money.
Right.
Well, I'm good. So
right, no, that's understood. Well, that's understood 100%.
I'll meet her at the finish line. You see what I'm saying? We can always. It's plenty of ways to the top of the mountain. and at the
Right,
top
for
of the
sure.
mountain is reparations for foundational Black Americans, I'll meet her there. But see,
For sure.
the problem that we have is we got too much decision by committee. Somebody there just needs to come up with a plan and go ahead and execute. You see what I mean?
Right. Well, that's what she's actually was able to do. So she wrote a book called Allegedly. Get the book Allegedly, and
What
when
is
y'all
the
get
book
a moment,
about?
say that again.
What is the book about?
Basically about her discrimination. And I
Okay, but
think
it's
that
not about
information.
reparations.
Well, reparations. When you so again, when we talk reparations, right? What does reparations look like to you?
Reparations is payments for African American people who are descended from slavery that occurred in this country, who can trace their lineage back to Africa.
Correct. So with that being said, reparations is a multitude of different types of cash payments too. So we talk about
I
this
don't
on our
know
platform.
I know cash is cash. And
Well,
I want
okay,
to pay Black
cash is just one
Americans.
part of it, though.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
No,
finish.
I'm just saying, it's not to go back and forth. I'm just saying cash is one part of it. So what we talked about here is, hey, like, let's just go back a couple of years with the stop and frisk. Hey, you might have been coming from school, work, minding your business. You got pulled over, got dope put on you. I need to check separately for that too as well. See that? So there's a multitude of things
that sounds like restitution for a criminal act perpetrated on you by a police officer. That's not the reparations. That's something else. That's restitution for a criminal act. I'm talking about, when I talk about reparations, I'm talking about one thing. And in this particular conversation, I've discussed the people of the Cotilda who came over in 1860, who are still present in a small town called Africatown, north of Mobile, Alabama. And the reason that they were brought over here is because a white man named Meyer made a bet with another white man in New Orleans that he could go to Africa while slavery was outlawed and bring them over here. Thereafter, he brought 110 He bought 110 Africans from the king Glele, who was at the time the king of Dahomey, and brought them over here. Those are the people that I'm using that as a test case. You see, that is a very narrow, easy to understand set of facts that any judge or jury could understand. Legislator, United States legislator, we want to give these people permission to sue that country for their criminal activities, which dates back to 1860. And that'll be a precedent that we set. Clean, to the point. See, once you start labeling more than one thing as reparations, just like everything is racism, now racism means nothing. Once everything becomes grounds for reparations, reparations becomes grounds for nothing. So I'm gonna keep it real narrow. You understand what I'm saying? This is where I'm going with it. Whatever everybody else want to do, that's on them. But this is what I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying, brother?
Right, for sure. And that's why I asked, what does reparations look like to you? Because everybody got their own point of what it looks like, but there's nothing collective. So I guess I'll land on this point. We are trying to build a collective of different, obviously, mindsets, talking points, scholars, Black American folks, funded socially, funditsocially.com. We are Black owned and operated, Black American owned and operated.
I'm not interested in anybody's money. I don't want anybody else's money. If you want to give me some money,
no, it's not about money, brother. That's just the name of the site, brother. You know what I mean? Okay. Not to confuse you. Funditsocially.com, because we must understand that we have to fund our own endeavors too. Reparations is the long game.
Anybody to fund my endeavor.
What about things like Black businesses?
Slow down, brother. Slow down.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna cut you off. I don't want anybody's money. I'm not doing this for money. I don't want you to listen to me.
About that, though, but
I don't see here. I'm not asking you to help me build a school. I'm not asking you to help me.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
I'm not asking y'all to help me put another film out. I ain't asking y'all to help me. What is it called? What is that called? Code fund. I'm not asking for nothing. I'm gonna do this on my own. You see, put my own money where my mouth is.
Right.
You see, that's the difference between what I'm doing and what everybody else is doing. Now, when I'm finished, maybe somebody else can do something else. You can pick up what I did, or you can start from not you personally, but they can pick up from where I did, or they can start what they want to do. But see, part of the reason why there's been very little progress in the reparations movement. You yourself been working on it 10 years. I've been working on it about a year and a half, and I've already come up with this plan. Since the first time I did that first broadcast about reparations, which I did a repeat broadcast on a couple of weeks ago, which caused all this stir, that's how long I've been working on it. And I'm already funding and have created a legal framework which will be put in print for other lawyers and legal minds around the world to look, America could look at and scrutinize. That's where I'm at.
Right, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? I don't need any help. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just say this last thing. There are many dentists out here with their own talking points. So you got Dr. Sandy Darity, you got Sean D. Rochester, who wrote the book The Black Tax. Now, those two scholarly brothers, The Black Tax is basically basing his talking points is everything from 1619 to right now. But Dr. Sandy William Darity, his talking points is only from the Reconstruction era to right now. So it's like, you know, who we rolling with. So when I say funded socially, FUNDIT socially.com, funded socially, we must pull our resources together mentally, not just the economics. So you might have an idea or whatever it is you're doing.
Let me tell you again, I'm not putting my financial resources nor my mental resources towards anything else.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'll let you guys know. No, hold on, brother. I'm gonna do this project that I'm doing right now, and I'm gonna have the legal framework based on my thoughts related to the Cotilda case, and we're gonna put that in legal treatises and documents for other people to review. That's it.
For sure. For sure.
Okay.
Uncle D.
All right. God
Uncle
bless
D.
y'all. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Calderon?
Yeah. Right, before I go, so you mentioned one country is a Benin. Tell me, is there any other African country that you're gonna investigate for the reparation? Because there are a lot, you know.
I'm sure once I put that blood in the water, and people realize, oh, you mean we could make 100 million off of it? There'll be plenty of people doing investigations. See, you gotta let them know there's an avenue to get money, and then the work will get done itself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
once
quite
people
a lot.
realize that you could sue a corporation for hundreds of millions of dollars for asbestos, all kinds of lawyers start coming up with different asbestos clients and asbestos defendants to sue. Once they realize, oh my God, we laid the legal framework, this lawyer laid the legal framework to sue Togo Benin. That's just a little tiny country down there. Can we sue Nigeria with all that oil money?
Oh, sue Nigeria, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to get a toehold. You got to lay the legal. It starts with a little small legal precedent, and oftentimes that legal precedent starts with the idea that it can be done. That's where I'm at. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need to eat the whole elephant. All I need is a little bite.
Okay.
And from that little bite, everybody else is going to say, well, I can take a little bite too. And then by the time we finish, the elephant has disappeared. And black folks have been, and foundational black Americans have been compensated for their reparations. That's where I'm at, man. You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Praise God. Hallelujah. Let us all bow our heads.
Take care, guys.
Y'all be cool. Anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Dale Jennings. Thank you, Calderon. Thank you, Chaos Rain.
Thank you, Uncle
Hardy. I appreciate y'all. This has been a spirited conversation. All you people in the chat room, I hope I answered all the questions. You know, I mean, African, money. You don't have any money. I don't care. I'm taking it anyway. We'll take your oil money and sell it and get your money. I don't care what you say. You cry and whine all you want to. Y'all ain't gonna come up without us coming over here getting all our good education and running back to Nigeria. You gonna pay. You gonna pay with your old baby. As I said earlier, Killmonger was right. Africa has an obligation to help its African children. The ones that you sold and got away, the one that you benefited from by selling us, you kept your economy going for 500 years, selling us off to those Europeans. You owe us, and you're going to pay us. And we're not asking, we're taking. Somebody type, we're not praying, we taking. We're not asking, we're taking. We're not asking you for permission. We're going to do our very best to lay the foundation as to why the legal framework should be changed. We'll lay a foundation as to how it can be changed. There's already the template out there, and somebody's gonna pick this up, baby.
Yep.
But other than that, I know y'all mad.
Shout
I know
out
y'all
to
mad.
the king.
But I don't even. God bless y'all. This is Uncle D. I'm out, baby.